7 o'clock.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
And
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So we'll read Srimad Bhagavatam. This chapter is dealing with Prthu Maharaj's Ashwamedha Yagna. Horse sacrifice. He's going to, the plan is for Prthu Maharaj to do 100 horse sacrifices. So previously we read when he was doing horse sacrifices, then Indra could not tolerate. Why Indra could not tolerate? Why Indra could not tolerate?
Because he's in anxiety, he's thinking that Prthu Maharaj wants to become the next Indra.
Yeah, so he's envious. Prabhupada is saying that he's envious and therefore he cannot tolerate. In the material world, this material world is characterized by envy, whereas Vaikuntha is free from envy. In Krishna consciousness, however, if someone excels another person, the devotee who is excelled thinks how fortunate the other person is to be advancing in devotional service. Such non-envy is typical of Vaikuntha. Okay, so we read this. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, is present in everyone's heart as the Super Soul, and he is the proprietor of all planets and the enjoyer of the result of all sacrifices. Results of all sacrifices. He was personally present at the sacrifices made by King Prthu. So Lord Vishnu was personally present there. Okay, so then we are on text 4 now. We have to read. Anvito Brahma Sarvabhyam Lokapale Sahanugai Upakiyamano Gandharvair Munubhis Chapsaro Ganai. When Lord Vishnu appeared in the sacrificial arena, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and all the chief predominating personalities of every planet, as well as their followers, came with him. When he appeared on the scene, the residents of Gandharva Loka, the great sages, and the residents of Apsara Loka all praised him. So Lord Vishnu came with Brahma and Shiva also, and so many other devatas who are ruling other planets. So everybody, it was a big entourage. And when he came, then everybody praised Lord Vishnu. Okay, so let's see. The Lord was accompanied by the residents of Siddhalok and Vidyadhar Lok, all the descendants of Diti, and the demons and the yakshas. He was also accompanied by his chief associates, headed by Sunanda and Nanda. So demons were also there. They all came because Prthu Maharaj was doing this yajna. And Sunanda and Nanda are the two who were there. Sunanda and Nanda are they came for
He came for Dhruva Maharaj.
Dhruva Maharaj. Yeah. When Dhruva Maharaj had to board the Vaikuntha plane. Okay. Great devotees who were always engaged in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as well as the great sages named Kapila, Narada, Dattatreya, and masters of mystic powers headed by Sanak Kumar, all attended the great sacrifice with Lord Vishnu. Sometimes we say Krishna. Krishna doesn't mean alone. Krishna is always with his energies. So, as a king is always with his entourage, his ministers, like that. So, Krishna and Krishna's energies are simultaneously present. Because there is no meaning to king without his energy. You can't say there is a king, but he has no army, he has no kingdom, he has no ministers. King means supposed to be everything. So Krishna, the sound Krishna means everything. Because Krishna is God, so sound is same. My dear Vidura means with all his energies. My dear Vidura, as Lord Chaitanya says, you invested all your potencies in the holy name. Because Krishna, the word Krishna, the sound Krishna means Krishna, and Krishna means Krishna with all his energies. Antaranga Shakti, Bahiranga Shakti, Tatashta Shakti, and everything like that. My dear Vidura, in that great sacrifice, the entire land came to be like the milk producing Kamadhenu. And thus, by performance of yajna, all daily necessities of life were supplied. So, let's see. Because of the sacrifice, everything was auspicious. In this verse, the word dharma dugha is significant for it indicates Kamdhenu. Kamdhenu is also known as Surabhi. Surabhi cows inhabit the spiritual world, as stated in Brahma Samhita. Lord Krishna is engaged in tending these cows. Surabhi Rabhi Palayantam. What is the verse? Surabhi Rabhi Palayantam. What is the whole verse?
Chintamani
Chintamani.
Sadmash.
Chintamani.
प्रकरसद्मषु कल्पवृक्षा लक्षावृतेश सुरभिरभिपालयन्तम् लक्ष्मीसहस्रशतसंभ्रमसेव्यमानं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तम् अहं भजामि.
Okay. So, what is the meaning of that verse? Chintamani. Describing spiritual world.
Chintamani is made of Chintamani gems. Kalpavriksha trees are there, desire trees. Lakshavriteshu Surabhi, there is thousands of cows. Laksha or millions. Millions of cows. Abhipalayantam. That means tending. Krishna is tending the Surabhi cows. Lakshmi Sahasra. Sahasra means thousand. Thousands of Lakshmis. Sambrama Sevyamanam. They are serving
Krishna.
Krishna.
So Krishna has no dearth of anybody serving him. There are thousands of goddesses of virtue serving Krishna. So yet still he hankers for our service. Krishna has so many. Because why would he hanker if he has so many Lakshmis and so many? Why does he hanker for our service?
I mean, Krishna wants to have loving relationship with all the jivas.
Because as a particular jiva, you only can satisfy Krishna in a certain. There's a unique relationship with every jiva. So your unique relationship with Krishna is satisfied. It's only that jiva can satisfy. So Krishna is missing that particular. You can say like that. I mean, flavor of relationship. So I mean, Krishna has so many Gopa friends, but when um, Gop Kumar went back to the spiritual world, he was saying, "I was missing you. Where have you been for a long time?" It's not like Krishna was lacking friends, but that one friend was also, he was feeling like that. So every jiva has a unique relationship with Krishna. And he can satisfy Krishna in that particular relationship in which we serve him. And Krishna loves all the jivas, despite all the innumerable devotees that serve him in the spiritual world. Still, he loves everyone, all the jivas, because everybody has come from him. So, father has 5 children, then he loves 5 children. He loves the sixth child also, if he has a sixth child, seventh child. So, one can milk a surbi cow as often as one likes, and the cow will deliver as much milk as one requires. So, there is no a dearth of milk. Even the land is wet with milk. There is so much milk that the Surbi cow will give and it will never empty. Milk, of course, is necessary for the production of so many milk products, especially clarified butter, which is required for the performance of great sacrifices. Unless we are prepared to perform the prescribed sacrifices, our supply of necessities of life will be checked. So, if we only take and take, we don't give back, then our necessities of life will be just like if you use electricity and you don't pay the bill, then your electricity will be cut off. After some time, you get sometimes you're late in paying the bill, and then you get a letter that this is a deadline. If you don't pay, then by this day, then your water supply will be cut off. So, in the same way, if we take from God without giving back to God, then our necessities of life will be checked. Bhagavad Gita confirms that Lord Brahma created human society along with Yagna, the performance of sacrifice. Yagna means Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and sacrifice means working for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mostly we work for our own satisfaction. So Krishna consciousness is to change that consciousness and to work for Krishna's satisfaction. In this age, however, it is very difficult to find qualified brahmanas who can perform sacrifices as prescribed in the Vedas. Therefore, it is recommended in Srimad Bhagavatam, Yagnai Sankirtana Praye, that by performing Sankirtan Yagna and by satisfying the Yagna Purush, Lord Chaitanya, one can derive all the results derived by great sacrifices in the past. So whatever, Kalotad Hari Kirtanat, Krite Yadhyayato Vishnu Tretayam Jajato Makhai, Dvapare Paricharyayam, Kalotad Hari Kirtanat. In Kali Yuga, simply by chanting the holy name, you can achieve. One can derive all the results derived by great sacrifices in the past. King Prthu and others derived all the necessities of life from the earthly planet by performing great sacrifices. Now this Sankirtan movement has already been started by the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. People should take advantage of this great sacrifice and join in the society's activities. Then there will be no scarcity. If Sankirtan Yagna is performed, there will be no difficulty, not even in industrial enterprises. Therefore, this system should be introduced in all spheres of life, social, political, industrial, commercial, etc. Then everything will run very peacefully and smoothly. Okay, so Sankirtan Yagna will solve all scarcity problems and all other problems. Okay, any comments on this verse? Can we go to the next verse? Okay, so next verse. The flowing river supplied all kinds of taste, sweet, pungent, sour, etc. And very big trees supplied fruit and honey in abundance. The cows, having eaten sufficient green grass, supplied profuse quantities of milk, yogurt, clarified butter, and similar other necessities. So everything was in abundance. If rivers are not polluted and are allowed to flow in their own way, or sometimes allowed to flood the land will become very fertile and able to produce all kinds of vegetables, trees, and plants. The word rasa means taste. Actually, all rasas or tastes are tastes within the earth. So all the vegetables we are getting are from the earth, and every vegetable has a particular taste, and fruits and everything. And as soon as seeds are sown in the ground, various trees sprout up to satisfy our different tastes. For instance, sugarcane provides its juice to satisfy our taste for sweetness, and oranges provide their juice to satisfy our taste for a mixture of the sour and the sweet. Similarly, there are pineapples and other fruits. At the same time, there are chilies to satisfy our taste for pungency. Although the earth's ground is the same, the different tastes arise due to different kinds of seeds. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 7:10, Bijam mam sarva bhutanam Bijam mam sarva bhutanam viddhi partha sanatanam buddhir buddhimatam asmi tejas tejasvi namaham. I am the original seed of all existences. Therefore, all arrangements are there, and as stated in Ishopanishad, Purnamidam, complete arrangement for the production of all necessities of life are made by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. People should therefore learn how to satisfy the Yagna Purush, Lord Vishnu. Indeed, the living entity's prime business is to satisfy the Lord, because the living entity is part and parcel of the Lord. Thus, the whole system is so arranged that the living entity must do its duty as is constitutionally made. Without doing so, all living entities must suffer. That is the law of nature. So, without satisfying Krishna, then we all will suffer. The words Taravo Bhuri Varshamanaha indicate very luxuriantly grown big bodied trees. The purpose of these trees was to produce honey and varieties of fruit. In other words, the forest also has its purpose in supplying honey, fruits, and flowers. Unfortunately, in Kali Yuga, due to an absence of yagna, there are many big trees in the forest, but they do not supply sufficient fruits and honey. Thus, everything is dependent on the performance of yagna. The best way to perform yagna in this age is to spread the Sankirtan movement all over the world. Okay, so any comments on this? Any comments? No comments. So if everybody chants Hare Krishna, then there was an interview of Srila Prabhupada with Chicago police officer, and Srila Prabhupada said, let's see what he says. That if you give us, what does it say? As you well know, Prabhupada said, many thieves are arrested numerous times and put into jail. Therefore, without cleansing the heart of the criminal, you cannot stop crime by more stringent law enforcement. So, our process is to cleanse the heart. Then all the troubles of the material world will be solved. Then this Mosey, Lieutenant Mosey, is saying there are many Christian organizations in the United States that give the Holy Communion. Why doesn't this work? Why is this not cleansing the heart? So he's saying there are many Christian organizations who are also talking about God consciousness like that. So why that is not cleaning the heart? Why the crime is growing? Srila Prabhupada, to speak frankly, I find it difficult to find even one real Christian. The so-called Christians do not abide by Bible's order. One of the 10 commandments in the Bible is thou shalt not kill. But where is that Christian who does not kill, eating the flesh of the cow? So it is not a rubber stamp practice. They have realized the purifying power of the holy name through practice. So he's saying like that. So he's saying that give us the opportunity to spread Krishna consciousness, and then the heart will be cleansed, and like so many people become vegetarians because of Hare Krishna movement. So, okay. Next verse we will read. Nobody has any comments. King Prthu was presented with various gifts from the general populace and predominating deities of all planets. The oceans and seas were full of valuable jewels and pearls, and the hills were full of chemicals and fertilizers. 4 kinds of edibles were produced profusely. So again, it is showing how more things were being produced. As stated in Ishopanishad, this material creation is supplied with all the potencies for production of all necessities required by living entities, not only human beings, but animals, reptiles, aquatics, and trees. So everybody has, earth can produce the necessities for every living entity. The oceans and seas produce pearls, corals, and valuable jewels so that fortunate law-abiding people can utilize them. Similarly, the hills are full of chemicals, so that when rivers flow down from them, the chemicals spread over the fields to fertilize the four kinds of foodstuffs. They are technically known as charvia. Those edibles which are chewed, leya, those which are licked up, chusya, which are sucked, and peya, those which are drunk. Where is this coming in the song? Is there a song where all the four edibles?
चतुर्विधा श्री भगवत प्रसाद स्वदनि तृप्त हरिभक्त संग कृत्वैव तृप्ति भजत सदैव वन्दे गुरु श्री चरणारविन्दम्. Right?
Correct. The spiritual master is always offering Krishna four kinds of eatables. Chaturvida Shri Bhagavad Prasado, Swadana Triptan, Haribhakta Sangan. And he becomes satisfied when what?
Devotees are satisfied by eating the prasad.
He takes great satisfaction in seeing the devotees honor prasadam. Like that. So this is the quality of our spiritual. Yeah. So some you chew, some you lick, some you suck, some you drink. Prthu Maharaj was greeted by the residents of other planets and their presiding deities. They presented various gifts to the king and acknowledged him as the proper type of king by whose planning and activities everyone throughout the universe could be happy and prosperous. So everybody came and offered gifts to Prthu Maharaj. It is clearly indicated in this verse that the oceans and seas are meant for producing jewels, but in Kali Yuga the oceans are mainly utilized for fishing. Shudras and poor men are allowed to fish, but the higher classes like Kshatriyas and Vaishyas would gather pearls, jewels, and coral. Although poor men would catch tons of fish, they would not be equal in value to one piece of coral or pearl. In this age, so many factories for the manufacture of fertilizers have been opened, but when the personality of God is pleased by the performance of yajnas, the hills automatically produce fertilizing chemicals, which help produce edibles in the field. So there is natural fertilizer, but it's all dependent upon the people's acceptance of the Vedic principles of sacrifice. Everything is dependent. Okay, one more verse. King Prthu was dependent on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is known as Adokshaja. To take shelter of Supreme Lord means to depend on the Supreme Lord. Knowing that Lord is my well-wisher, He will do everything that is right for me. And of course, I have to do my thing, my part, and then leave the rest to Krishna. So, because King Prthu performed so many sacrifices, he was superhumanly enhanced by the mercy of the Supreme Lord. King Prithu's opulence, however, could not be tolerated by the king of heaven, Indra, who tried to impede the progress of his opulence. Indra was jealous, so he tried to put some obstacle. In this verse, there are three significant purposes expressed in the words Adokshaja, Bhagwan Indraha, and Prthu. Maharaj Prthu is an incarnation of Vishnu, yet he is a great devotee of Lord Vishnu. So he is Shaktavesh avatar. Although an empowered incarnation of Lord Vishnu, he is nonetheless a living entity. As such, he must be a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although one is empowered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead and is an incarnation, he should not forget his eternal relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Kali Yuga, there are many self-made incarnation rascals who declare themselves to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The word Bhagwan Indraha indicate that a living entity can even be as exalted, as powerful as King Indra. For even King Indra is an ordinary living entity in the material world and possesses the four defects of the conditioned soul. King Indra is described herein as Bhagwan, which is generally used in reference to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In this case, however, King Indra is addressed as Bhagwan because he has so much power in his hands. So he is not God, but he has so much power. Indra has so much power. That's why sometimes he is addressed as Bhagwan. Despite his becoming Bhagwan, he is envious of the incarnation of God, Prthu Maharaj. The defects of material life are so strong that due to contamination, King Indra becomes envious of an incarnation of God. So we are all affected by the defects of material life, which are four in number, which is one is to
Yeah, we commit mistakes. Senses are imperfect
Mhm.
and illusioned, and we have a cheating propensity.
So even Indra has these defects, said, the four defects. And he became envious. Okay. Anything else to be said about this? Okay. We should try to understand, therefore, how a conditioned soul becomes fallen. The opulence of King Prthu was not dependent on material conditions. As described in this verse, he was a great devotee of Adokshaja. The word Adokshaja, Aksha means eyes and Ja means born, Janma. So that which is perceived by the eyes, or like, yeah, Krishna is beyond that, beyond all the sense perception. Indicates the personality of Godhead. Adha means above or beyond, who is beyond the expression of mind and words. However, the Supreme Personality of Godhead appears before the devotee in his original form of eternal bliss and knowledge. The devotee is allowed to see the Supreme Lord face to face, although the Lord is beyond the expression of our senses and beyond our direct perception. So, by service attitude, the Lord becomes revealed. So, okay, so next verse we'll read. When Prithu Maharaj was performing the last horse sacrifice, Ashwamedh Yagna, King Indra, invisible to everyone, stole the horse intended for sacrifice. He did this because of his great envy of King Prithu. So 99 he had completed. Then Indra came invisible and he stole the horse. King Indra is known as Shatakrtu, which indicates that he has performed 100 horse sacrifices. Ashwamedha Yagna. We should know, however, that the animals sacrificed in the Yagna were not killed. If the Vedic mantras were properly pronounced during the sacrifice, the animal sacrifice would come out again with a new life. This is the text. That is the test for a successful Yagna. When King Prithu was performing 100 Yagnas, Indra became very envious because he did not want anyone to excel him. Being an ordinary living entity, he became envious of King Prithu, and making himself invisible, he stole the horse and thus impeded the Yagna's performance. Okay, so if there is no horse, then there will be no sacrifice also. So he came and he stole the horse. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I have got a doubt. Though Indra is uh, a devotee of Lord and he always chants, he is very lusty, he is greedy, and he is envious. I didn't know why he is like that, Prabhuji. He's
Yeah, because he has not yet met Srila Prabhupada and like that. So maybe he is not having the blessings of the great souls, the pure devotees, maybe.
Thank you.
He's a mixed devotee, so Krishna is allowing himself. So on the path of mixed devotion, there is always danger. Yeah.
Also, Krishna is teaching us a lesson through Indra, as we were discussing, that
Correct.
the mother in law teaches the daughter in law by instructing the daughter. So, the daughter here is Indra, and but it's a lesson for us. He's being used as an instrument.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, so he's performing. He's ready to take all the blame to teach us a lesson. Then that means he's such a great devotee.
Also, we say Indra is a position, right? So it's different living entities at different times that occupy this post. So if he has learned his lesson, not necessarily he's committing the same mistakes over and over again, because it's different living entities who have taken that, right?
Correct.
Position.
The Indra is a post, so different people like, occupy that post. Yeah. So not all the Indras are same who are doing mistakes. They may be different people. That's what you're saying, right? There may be different Indras. But generally we say Indra. So, but Indra changes also. But anyhow, so
Yeah, we say that in Govardhan, Neela Krishna taught him a lesson
Mm.
to not be proud. But then in the same Dwarka Leela, right, when Krishna wanted that Parijata tree, then Indra was about to fight with Krishna, not allowing him to take that. So he didn't learn his lesson in that because it was the same Indra in the same yuga.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, sometimes because of opulence and all, we get carried away until disaster comes, then.
That's why he's been cursed by many times by Brihaspati and others. So he was lusty to Ahalya Mataji also, I think.
Yeah. Gautam Rishi cursed him.
Gautam Rishi, he also he cursed him.
Mm. Yeah, so there's too much opulence and enjoyment, so that's how he forgets.
But all the demigods, Prabhuji, are also devotees of the god, right? Including Indra also,
Yeah.
is a demigod. So,
Hmm.
sometimes they have to go through all that to show that is the pastime Leela of the Lord also involved. So, we should not judge by their behavior or something because it's.
Yeah, Prabhupada elsewhere he writes that they are devotees with material
Mixed,
desires, mixed,
and mixed devotees.
mixed
Yeah,
desires.
like Nalakuvera and Manigriva. So they learned a lesson of not respecting Narada Muni, and they had the blessing.
Yeah, like we say that they could have gone back home, back to Godhead, but they got stuck in the material world in a high position because of their desires to enjoy in this material world. So they could have gone back home, back to Godhead. So sometimes the jiva is devotee, but he has material desires, so he gets stuck in a nice situation in the material world. Materially nice situation. He has a nice situation than most of all the living entities, the king of heaven. But he got stuck there. Vitrasur is saying like that. Vitrasur is saying, you will rot in this material world. Use your vajra and kill me. I will go back home, back to Godhead. But you will rot in this material world with all
Yeah.
your desires to enjoy here.
At any moment, they can fall down from their high position, get to the lowest. Like Indra was cursed to become a pig.
Yeah.
So that is material world, right? You can have very nice situation right now, and a moment later, it can be very bad situation.
Yes. So he will slowly realize that uh, also through going through that kind of experiences. Then he will become pure devotee maybe. And then he'll say, no, no, I don't want all this kind of thing. Where, things are given, then things are taken away, then things are given, then they are taken away. Not like that. So I want permanent situation. I don't want this. Where like living entity, like we get birth, then we get something, then we die, then again take birth, again we do something, we get something, then we die, then things are taken away. So like that, constantly we have like this thing going on. And then the living entity becomes intelligent and says, what is this? I don't want this kind of situation. I want to go back home, back to Godhead. I'm done with this. Some some misery, then some happiness, then some misery, then some happiness, like that. It's a mixed bag and all the struggle, so like that. So that's how it's set up. Okay. So he did this because of his great envy of King Prthu. He stole the horse. Invisibly he came and he stole the horse. Um, yeah, I think we read this. So next verse. When King Indra was taking away the horse, he dressed himself to appear as a liberated person. So here it says it was invisible, but he came as a liberated person, maybe in the role of a sadhu. Actually, this dress was a form of cheating, for it falsely created an impression of religion. So he came dressed in maybe sadhu vesh. When Indra went into outer space in this way, the great sage Atri saw him and understood the whole situation. Atri Muni could see. Yes, he's stealing the horse. He has come, he's dressed as a sadhu, but the word Pakhanda used in this verse is sometimes pronounced Pashanda. Both of these words indicate an impostor who presents himself as a very religious person but in actuality is sinful. Indra took up the saffron colored dress as a way of cheating others. This saffron dress has been misused by many impostors who present themselves as liberated persons or incarnations of God. In this way, people are cheated. As we have mentioned many times, the conditioned soul has a tendency to cheat. Therefore, this quality is also visible in a person like King Indra. It is understood that even King Indra is not liberated from the clutches of material contamination. Thus, the word amuktam, iva, meaning as if he were liberated, are used. So, he is not liberated, but he is acting as if he is liberated. The saffron dress worn by a sannyasi announces to the world that he has renounced all worldly affairs and is simply engaged in the service of the Lord. Such a devotee is actually a sannyasi or liberated person. In Bhagavad Gita 6.1 it is said, Anashrita karma phalam karyam karma karotiya sasannyasi cha yogi cha na niragnir na chakriya. One who is unattached to the fruits of his work and who works as is obligated is in the renounced order of life, and he is the true mystic, not he who lights no fire and performs no work. So not that one who does not do any work, he is not in the renounced order of life. One who works but he gives the results of his work to Krishna. That is real. Who works as whatever is supposed to do, but he gives the results of his work to Krishna. Not that he doesn't work and doesn't do any activity. Like most people are working because they want money, because they want to enjoy. And most people want to retire because they want to enjoy, right? They want to enjoy the money that they have earned throughout their life. So they want to retire now. They have enough money. They want to retire and enjoy that money. Most people are working to accumulate money to enjoy, right? But the devotees are working to earn money to please Krishna, to serve Krishna. So that is the difference. In other words, one who offers the results of his activities to the Supreme Personality of God is actually a sannyasi and yogi. Cheating sannyasis and yogis have existed since the time of Prthu Maharaj's sacrifice. This cheating was very foolishly introduced by King Indra. In some ages, such cheating is very prominent, and in other ages, not so prominent. So they pose themselves as renounced, like monkey renunciation. It's called market vairagya. As if they don't have any, their monkeys are naked and like that. But they're very attached to sense gratification. So that's called market vairagya. In some ages, such cheating is very prominent. In other ages, not so prominent. It is the duty of a sannyasi to be very cautious, as because it's stated by Lord Chaitanya, sannyasira alpa chitra sarva loke gai. Alpa chitra means a slight blot in sannyasi's character. Sarva loke gai. Gai means sing. Everybody will sing about the thing. A little spot in a sannyasi's character will be magnified by the public. Therefore, unless that this is what he said when they said, "Oh, you go and meet Maharaj Pratap Rudra," and Lord Chaitanya said, "No, I cannot meet Maharaj Pratap Rudra. I am a sannyasi. I don't have to do anything with people in royal opulence. And if people will come to know, there'll be a spot on my character like that. And on a white cloth, if there is a little black spot, everybody will look at the black spot. Amidst all the white, they will find a little black spot and then focus on that." So he said, "No, I don't." Of course, Pratap Rudra was a devotee, and then later on he met. But this is some teaching. Therefore, unless one is very sincere and serious, he should not take up the order of sannyas. One should not use this order as a means to cheat the public. It is better not to take up sannyas in the age of Kali, because provocations are very strong in this age. Only a very exalted persons advanced in spiritual understanding should attempt to take up sannyas. One should not adopt this order as a means of livelihood or for some material purpose. so that to get some donations and like that. One should not take up wearing, should not wear saffron just to get some donations and some livelihood like that. Okay, so Atri Muni found out this Indra is stealing the horse. So he detected. Says, okay, last verse. When the son of King Prthu was informed by Atri of King Indra's trick, he immediately became very angry. So Atri Muni told Prthu Maharaj, your horse is being stolen by Indra. So Prthu Maharaj became very angry and followed Indra to kill him, calling, wait, wait. The word tishta, tishta are used by a Kshatriya when he challenges his enemy. When fighting, a Kshatriya cannot flee from the battlefield. However, when a Kshatriya, out of cowardice, flees from the battlefield, showing his back to his enemy, he is challenged with the word tishta, tishta. A real Kshatriya does not kill his enemy from behind, nor does a real Kshatriya turn his back on the battlefield. According to Kshatriya principles and spirit, one either attains victory or dies on the battlefield. Although King Indra was very exalted, being the king of heaven, he became degraded due to his stealing the horse intended for sacrifice. Therefore, he fled without observing the Kshatriya principles. He is a king, but he is fleeing because he has stolen the horse. And the son of Prthu had to challenge him with the word tishta, tishta. Tishta, tishta means just wait, just wait. Because Prthu Maharaj didn't want to kill him from behind. So he wanted to challenge him to fight. Something like that. But Indra was dressed as a sannyasi. Okay, we'll read this tomorrow. Here. Anything else anybody like to share or anything? Sing or anything? Song or any other comments from anybody?
I can sing.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu. व्रज जन मन सुखकारी राधे श्याम श्यामा श्याम व्रज जन मन सुखकारी राधे श्याम श्यामा श्याम मोर मुकुट मकराकृत कुंडल गले वैजंती माला चरणन नुपुर रसाल राधे श्याम श्यामा श्याम सुंदर वदन कमल दल लोचन बाकी चितवन हारी मोहन वंशी विहारी राधे श्याम श्यामा श्याम वृंदावन में धेनु चरावे गोपी जन मन हारी श्री गोवर्धन धारी राधे श्याम श्यामा श्याम राधा कृष्ण मिले अब दाऊ गौर रूप अवतारी कीर्तन धर्म प्रचारी राधे श्याम श्यामा श्याम तुम बिन मेरे और न कोई नाम रूपे अवतारी चरणन में बलिहारी राधे श्याम श्यामा श्याम नारायण बलिहारी राधे श्याम श्यामा श्याम ब्रज जन मन सुखकारी राधे श्याम श्यामा श्याम. Translation. Krishna gives happiness in the hearts of all the Vrajvasis. Radhe Shyam Shyam Shyam. He wears a peacock feather mukut, swinging makara-shaped earrings, and a Vaijanti garland around his neck, and the sound of his ankle bells is full of rasa. Radhe Shyam Shyam Shyam. His lotus face is very beautiful and his eyes are like lotus petals. Wandering here and there, he charms everyone with his flute and threefold curved form. Radhe Shyam Shyam Shyam. In Vrindavan, he tends the cows in the pastures, steals the gopis' minds, and holds up Sri Govardhan Hill. Radhe Shyam Shyam Shyam. Sri Radha Krishna have united and now the two have come as the beautiful golden avatar, preaching Kirtan Dharma. Radhe Shyam Shyam Shyam. I have no one but you in this world. You descend as the avatar of the beautiful name and beautiful form. Your lotus feet fill me with wonder, so this Narayan is filled with delight. Radhe Shyam Shyam Shyam. So Krishna has appeared in two forms. His beautiful form in the form of the deity, right? And his name. Kali Kaler Naam Rup Krishna Avatar. Naam hoite hoye sarv jagat nistar. And he's saying that I have no one in this world but you, Krishna. So, like Sanatan Goswami is saying, Mad ek bandhu, mad sangin, mad guru, mad mahadana, mad nistarakam, mad bhagir, mad ananda namostute. That you are my only companion, you are my only friend, my guru, my greatest treasure, my savior, and my highest fortune, and you're the form of greatest ecstasy. So I have no one but you, so please take me, help me. That is the definition of humility, Prabhupada says, right? When we understand that nobody can protect us, not our money, not our intelligence, not our family members. Nobody can protect us except for Krishna. So we should chant the holy name like that. Holy name, only you can protect me. Please save me. Please protect me. So that I don't fall down. I don't forget Krishna. Because if we forget Krishna, then that's the greatest misery. One of the verses that we had read was, if for even one moment we forget Krishna, there is no greater loss, no greater illusion than that.
Yeah, when we love Krishna, then we'll always remember him. So,
And if we are in a helpless state, then also like a child who's lost from the parents, he's thinking, who will protect me? I need to go back to my parents. I'm helpless. I don't have any abilities. I cannot handle it by myself.
yeah, there is a need also. Yeah, without. So, pray to Krishna.
And I'm in a dangerous position. Like that verse, samsara kupe patitotyagade mohanda purne vishayabhitakte karavalambam mama dehi vishnu govinda damodara madhaveti. That I have fallen in this deep dark well of material life and I am tormented by so many sensual desires. This well is it's very dark and there is illusion, blind ignorance. It's saying. And you grant me your hand to help me, uplift me, take me out of this well.
Yeah, our attraction for Krishna comes about when we give attention to him. So, attention to Krishna. So, when we put our consciousness on him, then our attraction will slowly manifest, like chanting the holy name. We chant with attention.
Yeah, attention to detail is a sign of love. And when we are attentive, we are absorbed, and our mind is not going here and there.
Yeah. So if the mind is going here, then Krishna says, bring it back to Krishna, bring it back to Krishna. Like that. So then that's whatever we are attentive to in this world, that's all.
Where attention goes, energy flows. Vaisheshika Prabhu says.
So we have to be attentive to our service, Krishna. and service of devotees. Right. So,
Yeah, even like Srila, I mean, there are normally 64 limbs of bhakti, but Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur have been so merciful that he has asked to practice 5 limbs of bhakti, which are very, very important, out of which one is Nam Sankirtan. The first is Sadhu Sangha, Bhagavad Shravan, Nam Sankirtan, Dham Vas, and Murti Puja, right? Those are very, very important and should be practiced.
yeah, if you're in Sadhu Sangha, then we will be inspired. So, yeah, we will be inspired to chant and do everything, service, everything. So, Prabhupada created this why, that's why this society. So, we can come together and talk about Krishna and inspire each other. In Kali Yuga, it's difficult to practice on our own spiritual life. So, Prabhupada created this Sadhu Sangha. We have Sadhu Sangha also in Dallas, right? They named it Sadhu Sangha. So, anywhere you go, you get some devotee association. Yeah. So, anything else?
It's also saying Krishna gives happiness in the hearts of all the Vrajvasis. Our senses will become satisfied by serving Krishna unconditionally. There's no other way that our senses will be satisfied.
Yeah, that's why he's known as Govinda, master of all senses. We have to give
Yeah,
him.
Govinda, right? He gives pleasure to the cows, and go also means the senses.
And that means how do we get pleasure? By service, devotional service only. So, we should try to find our happiness in devotional service, not otherwise. We are all looking for happiness, search for happiness. So we should search for happiness in service to Krishna. That's the ideal way, right?
Right.
Otherwise, we are searching for happiness in sense enjoyment, but that will not give happiness.
Which is like nectar in the beginning but poison at end. It's like a drop of water in a desert. That's the happiness we will get. As opposed to ocean of happiness.
But if you don't find that spiritual happiness, then we look for some happiness in sense enjoyment. Then we get frustrated. Then we say, I will not do it again. Then after some time again, the desire comes for sense enjoyment. So after repeatedly going through some time, then we say, no, it is not satisfying. I'll give it up. Give it up. I'll just find happiness in devotional service. So that is how the jiva becomes intelligent by Krishna's mercy. Insanity means to do the same thing over and over again and
Expect a different result.
different result. So same thing we are doing, and we are in the same repeated cycle of birth and death. Every life we are doing the same thing over and over again. And same thing is happening. Birth, death, old age, disease, birth, death, old age, disease. So try something different, as Prabhupada told Bhakti Charumaras. Try something different in this life. You have tried all this for so many millions of lifetimes. Try something different. Don't do the same thing over and over again. Of course, with everything we can dovetail it for Krishna service. Okay. Anything else? So we'll chant Hare Krishna. I think we'll stop here. With our Bhagavatam. I have some round.